Hello, welcome back to Life Enrichment with Hank Ballinger. Today I want to talk about turning negativity into positivity. Now, early on when I was just getting started, a lot of people seems like were very negative, and a lot of people were negative towards trying to build wealth or getting out of their comfort zone. Not that they meant to be mean or anything like that. It's just some people are a little hesitant to do what they've never done. We're kind of afraid of the unknown. So what I want to look at today is some of the negative stuff as you're trying to build wealth or accomplish your goals, whatever those goals are. We want to look at some of the negative that people will throw towards you and the way that you have to overcome that negativity. So today, a lot of this is in building wealth in real estate, and generally what I turn to or what I associate with. But one of the things I want to look at is some of the negative things that people have told me, or things that I hear about wealthy people or people trying to build wealth in real estate or other avenues, businesses, whatever. So sometimes people will say, well, rich people are greedy. Well, I can't say none of them are. There are probably some wealthy people that are greedy. Some people are like Scrooge. Some people just like being Scrooge. That's their nature. That's who they are. Money, wealth will not make you something that you are not. It generally exacerbates who you already are. It won't make you good. Now, it could make you better, but it won't make you good. It won't make you bad. It may make you worse, but it won't make you anything that you are not already. It will exacerbate who you already are. So I've heard rich people are greedy. Nobody likes a Scrooge. Nobody likes a Scrooge McDuck. Nobody likes somebody that just hoards up everything for themselves. They like people that, if they're going to build wealth, to be giving. That is most of the people that I know that have built wealth. They are very giving, and that's where the word philanthropy comes from people that are wealthy who give or share with others. They're philanthropic, or they help others. So the fact that rich people are greedy, the mass majority of wealthy people are not greedy. And as you build wealth, I hope that you're not. I've heard people say that rich people don't pay their fair share. And this is generally in regards to taxes. And they'll generally point to people like Warren Buffett or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. And they'll say those people don't pay their fair share of taxes. Well, I want to look at some statistics here. And these statistics come from a fellow by the name of Anthony Davies. He's an economics professor at Duquesne University. And I would encourage you to watch a lot of his podcast. He's very good on economics. Great guy. His name is Anthony Davies. Good guy on economics. But these are from him. Now, as I go through these, I want you to realize, and I say this often when I talk about the rich, the poor, and the middle class, none of these are wrong. None of these are bad. There are no bad poor people just because they're poor or middle class or wealthy. Now, there may be some bad people in each of these classes, but it's not the monetary wealth or lack thereof that makes them bad. That may just be who they are. So the fact that someone's poor, middle class, or wealthy does not make them good or bad. The poor, generally speaking, as a percentage of their income, pay generally 2% in taxes. But when you adjust for what, on average, poor people across the board in America, when you take out for free housing for some of them, and food stamps, and for other government subsidies, or when they do file taxes, they get money back, even though maybe they don't have a job and they haven't paid in. Maybe they still get some government money back when they file their taxes. On average, the poor across America generally get 130% back more than they paid. Meaning if they have paid in $100 in taxes, At the end of the year, they will end up getting $130 back. So, not that that's fair, unfair, not saying anything like that. I'm just saying when we look across the board, when we say who pays their fair share, well, maybe all, maybe none. Just giving you some numbers. The middle class, generally across the board on what they pay, a percentage of their income, pay 15%, but then when you look at what they may get back in taxes, it's a negative 10%. And then when we get to the wealthy, when you take across the board all wealth in America, and you say, well, what have they paid in property tax and other taxes? They generally pay about 30% of their income goes to taxes. So when people say they don't pay their fair share, well, what is fair? Is the 2%, the negative 130, the 15%, the negative 10, or the 30% fair? And should all people pay that? Whichever one you say is fair, should all people pay that amount? Could the poor pay 30%? Could the wealthy get back 130%? So what's fair? Well, I think we have to say, well, in America, the tax system may be doing a lot better than we would think. So to say that they're not paying their fair share is a wrong statement. Rich people are crooked. That's how they got their wealth. If they hadn't been crooked, they wouldn't be wealthy. They're crooks. Well, that's not logical. If you look at it from a logical standpoint, if I go to a bank to get a loan, or you go to a bank to get a loan, and you hoodoo that bank, you cross that bank and you don't make your payments, and then you go to that same bank and say, I want another loan because I want to buy another property. Is that bank going to be very inclined to give you a loan? No. So you're being honest helps you to build more wealth in the future. Now, if you go to somebody and borrow money from them to buy a property and you don't pay them back, are they going to give you money in the future? Or aren't they going to sue you because you didn't pay them back? And if there was a realtor involved and a realtor was supposed to get a commission from that sale, and you cut that realtor out of that commission, that realtor's not going to be very inclined to work with you again. So the fact that you're cutting people out because all people are in real estate or in life to make money, the more you cut out, the less likely people are to work with you. So the fact that a lot of people say, well, they got rich by being a crook. No, you don't get rich by being a crook. You get rich by being honest, because then everybody wants to work with you. The realtors want to work with you. The people selling property, the people buying property, the bankers, the insurance companies, the CPAs, the lawyers, everybody wants to work with you because you pay what you are supposed to pay. It's the honest who get ahead, generally, in building wealth. The crooks generally go to jail. What if the whole economy crashes? Now, early on, when I was first getting into buying real estate, I had some people that would come up to me and say, yeah, but aren't you afraid what if the whole system crashes and just everything, it's gone. You're going to lose everything. Let's look at that. Let's say the whole system crashes. Whether I worked for somebody else, and nothing wrong with that, but whether I worked for somebody else or I worked for myself building wealth in a business or real estate, whatever it may be, no matter what business I were in, if the whole system crashed, I'm going to be poor no matter what I was doing. So does it matter whether I was working for somebody else or working for myself? I'm still just as broke. But if I try to make a living, if I try to get ahead and I try to build wealth and the whole system doesn't implode in on itself, then I may actually make it and build wealth. Better to try and nothing happen and you make it than to not try in fear that, hey, the sky is falling. So the sky has never fallen. The whole system has never imploded. It has never happened, probably never will. Now, I want to look at that. That's the negative side. That's some negative arguments. Now, as you're trying to build wealth, or as you're trying to set goals, and you're trying to get ahead in life, you're trying to accomplish those goals and help mankind, help everybody you know to build wealth, to get ahead, you have to be positive. You have to be positive. Now, how do you motivate yourself? Well, sometimes that's hard. You know, you need to be self-motivated. But sometimes that's hard. You know, maybe the people you're running around with are very negative, and you go to get a loan and that bank turns you down, or you go to publish a book and your publisher turns you down, and just everywhere you're turning, it's negative, negative. How do you stay positive? Well, you've got to find a way. As being an entrepreneur, that's something that you have to do. You've got to figure out a way in and of yourself to be positive. You've got to push, push, push. Listen to tapes. Listen to motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, a lot of other motivational speakers. These cell phones that we have nowadays, my goodness, there's so many motivational speakers, so many motivational podcasts, so many things you can do to listen, to be motivated. Listen to those. Listen to them often. Listen to success stories, how somebody else made it. You listen to all the hurdles they had to jump, go around, go under, go through to make it, you'll be motivated. So listen to motivational speaking. Surround yourself with positive people. Now, it's easy to be surrounded by negative people. It's easy. They're everywhere. A lot of people are negative. But find those that are positive. And if you can't find them, maybe make them positive. The more positive you are, the more positive they will be. Generally, it rubs off. So be very positive. And the more positive you are, the more positive the people around you will be. Now, back when I was first getting started, I'd go to seminars, I'd read books. A lot of people would say, you are the wealth of the 5 closest people you hang around. Now, maybe that's true. From what I've seen, it probably is true. So when I go to all these seminars and they'd say the 5 closest friends that you have, whatever wealth they are, if they're poor, you will probably be poor. If they're middle class, you will probably be middle class. If they're wealthy, you will probably be wealthy. So what monetary status does your 5 closest friends have? So they always would say, hang around wealthy people. Though that may make some sense, let's look at some other possibilities. Wealthy people are generally honest. Now, you remember over here where they said, oh, they're greedy, they don't pay their fair share, they're crooks. Almost all of the wealthy people I know are very honest people. Bankers love to see them coming because they know if I make a loan to this guy, he's going to pay it back. The realtors that's involved with the people I know, they want them to buy property because they're going to make a commission on that. Insurance companies love it because you're going to pay more. The more property you buy, the more premiums you're going to pay. But bankers, realtors, everybody wants to see them coming because they're going to make money from these people. And they're honest. They pay what they owe. So they're very honest. So be honest. If you're going to build wealth, be honest. Now, remember I said all the seminars and everything, it said you will be the wealth of the 5 closest people you hang around with. So rather than me trying to hang around wealthy people, the thing I decided to do is I said, well, why don't I in turn then make the people around me wealthy? So I started teaching wealth building classes. And I started trying to work with the people around me, and I figured if I could make them wealthy, then, I would also help myself. Now I'm hanging around wealthy people, but it's the people I've always hung with, and now they're wealthy, and now we're just all going up. I went to a seminar one time, and a guy said this. It really resonated with me, made a lot of sense. He said this. He said, when you're going up and you're building wealth and you get to the penthouse, and you're really doing well, and all your friends are down here, he said this. He said, you take the elevator back down, and you get them, and you bring them up to the penthouse with you. And he said, make them your 5 closest friends and help them to build wealth. That made a lot of sense. So as you're building wealth, remember, those around you, get them to be positive. Push them to be positive. Push them to be honest. You be honest. You be positive. And help them to help themselves. I appreciate your time. Good luck, and hope you can make your life very enriched. And I hope you can become redneck rich. Thank you.